Can we get some coffee in here? And yep, I need that. What else do we need? Yep, that. Yep, okay. Are we almost ready here? Are we good? Let's see if I got any guests here that I can invite. I'm gonna send that one out one more time. Do. Okay, we're live. Good evening, folks. Oh my goodness. All right, we're here. Now we're just waiting for one other person. And we are live because somebody left me a nice little post-it for me. So thanks, Nicole, for that. Appreciate that. And yeah, so I sent Mr. Gord a link. And I want to thank the viewers that are here tonight. Tonight's show brought to you by the F-Bomb from Lucky Bug Lures. Check them out at luckybuglures.com and save yourself 15% off your purchase with my promo code, thanks to Ben. That's thanks to the number 2, Ben. So be sure at checkout to enter that promo code, and that'll save you 15% off your purchase. Lots of stuff coming out of Lucky Bug actually this year in 2021. One of the newer lures again is the F-Bomb, and a new articulated bait, the Pike Bomb. And you may have seen this in earlier episodes of the Ben McQuinney Outdoor Experience. Gord and I will be touching on articulated baits tonight. And we'll do that right now. The F-Bomb and a new articulated bait, the Pike Bomb. And you may have seen this in Gord, how are you? Episodes of the Ben McQuinney Outdoor Experience. You're watching me at the same time. That's awesome. And we'll do that right now. Tubby Guy Outdoors, thanks for dropping by. F-Bomb and a new articulated bait.
Can you hear me, Ben?
And, yeah, I can hear you.
How come I can hear something else going on?
I don't know. Maybe just shut that down for now. At the same time. That's awesome. And
let me just see something.
We'll do that right now.
Hold on.
Tubby Guy Outdoors. Joel, thanks for joining. Tubby Guy Outdoors, thanks for joining. And a new articulated bait.
Can you hear me, Ben?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How come I? There we go.
You must be watching me live on my page or something.
You know what? I think it was on the other one. You're right.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's all clear now. That's super awesome. Right on. I apologize. I didn't even bother shaving. So I was too excited. It's been so long since you and I have talked.
It's been a week. You better hit.
Yeah, it's been a whole week. Folks, I want to introduce my guest tonight. He's very well known in the fishing community, Gord Pyzer. I like to call him Dr. Gord Pyzer because, well, if anybody deserves that title, it's him. He's in Fisherman Magazine editor, as well as Outdoor Canada, as well as Cabela's Pro Staff, HT Pro Staff. He is the man. The doctor is in the house, Mr. Gord Pyzer. Start dropping your questions, folks. Gord, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Now, Ben, you're from Northern Ontario, right?
Yeah.
Elliott Lake originally?
Yep.
It was
just before, I don't mean to cut you off, but I know Mr. Troy Linder has his Ontario Northern experience, and I'm very jelly of him. I would love to hitchhike with him all over North. I could show him a few places too.
I bet you could.
But yeah, I grew up north. Yeah.
It was what I was going to say is you'll appreciate this, but it was 32 below this morning here, and we had 41 below wind chill.
That makes you get into school fast.
I canceled ice fishing today.
What? No.
I went for a good walk in the bush though, and it was gorgeous. Blue sky, warm sun, and not a hint of breeze.
See, we had flurries all day, lake effect snow all day. Heavy. Probably got at least, I would say, half a foot fall within 12 hours.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time coming. Like we're at beginning of February now, so where's the snow been? But we are like in the heart of the Great Lakes, so you get all that turbulence and whatnot.
So. I grew up I was born in Toronto, and I went to university at Guelph. And when I was a kid growing up, it was tradition to go perch fishing on Cook's Bay during the Christmas holidays. And I hear guys didn't get on to Simcoe in terms of the main lake until this past weekend.
How'd you do?
Pardon me?
How'd you do?
Well, I mean, the guys that were down there.
Okay, yeah.
I hear they didn't get out until this past. But I mean, we used to do that in December, and now you're not getting freeze up until February. That's crazy.
Do you think this is like in part due to greenhouse and what they say out there that's happening with the environment? Are we really doing this much damage in Ontario, like in our area? Because I can remember ice fishing years back, and like you said, it was the Christmas tradition. You get with your buddies right before Christmas, and you go out to Cook's Bay, and you pound the perch, and go home and have Christmas with the family. But I haven't done that in probably 3 years.
No, it's
not for a lack of trying either. It's just the ice hasn't really been safe.
No, in fact, what I see and you talked about lake effect snow, and I see the Great Lakes are so warm right now, and they're wide open, and that's the reason so much of that lake effect snow's blowing in. But up this way, Ben, over the last 30 years, 35 years, we're seeing ice up. So ice develops on average 9 to 14 days later in the fall, and it leaves 9 to 14 days earlier in the spring. And you shouldn't see changes like that in that period of time. That's pretty dramatic.
Another dramatic thing is I was cruising through Facebook, and somebody had posted a picture of the canal in behind Bass Pro Shop area, and it is absolutely bone dry.
Wow.
Why is that?
Well, it's interesting you say that. I see Environment Canada a couple of weeks ago in our area here, the Red River Valley, south of Winnipeg, over towards Kenora. The driest fall, actually, it was the driest. 2020 was the driest year since records have been kept. And we got a little bit of snow the other day, but we wouldn't have much more. We wouldn't have much more than ankle deep right now. So we're looking at pretty low runoff levels come spring if we don't get some more.
I'm flabbergasted at the weather patterns, but at the same time, I tell myself, well, you're in southwestern Ontario or southeastern Ontario, and you're surrounded by 3 or 4 lakes, so you're going to get this kind of weather. But at the same time, when you go a little bit further north and you see the situation isn't how it should be, you kind of start scratching your head and you wonder, are we really doing some serious damage here?
Yeah, it'll be again, on the wildlife side, when I was with M&R, and I was with M&R for 31 years, when I came here to Kenora, I came in 76. We had the densest moose herd in Kenora District on the Alno Peninsula, and we had relatively minimal deer populations, heavy moose populations. Today, it's entirely reversed. We issue 1 or 2 tags for moose, and there's deer everywhere. And again, it's changed from a moose forest, habitat-wise, climate-wise. It's changed in 30, 35, 40 years, changed from a moose forest to a deer forest.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're not gaining any more land as cities expand.
No.
And I think developers don't realize that. And I think it's important that as outdoor people, we need to be mindful of the things we do, so to protect our outdoors.
Yeah. No question about it.
So the topic tonight, I think I want to touch on a little bit, is articulated baits and what's more important, color, movement, or pattern, those kinds of things. So if anybody out there wants to fire away some questions for Gord, please, I'll read the comments off here, and you can answer away, Gord.
Sure.
I want to get some comments here, some questions. But first off, I'm going to pull this one out. Now, you did a write-up back in 2016 on 10 top Canadian baits to have for fishing. And one of them was Lucky Bug Lures Zombie Max. And I just, for the viewers and myself, I personally want to know how that bait got into the class, or that category, for you to say that that's one of the baits you should have.
I think you're probably referring every year. Every year I go to the ICAST show, or most years. This year, obviously, it was the virtual show, but the big ICAST show in Vegas or Orlando. And what I do, Ben, Outdoor Canada sends me down. I go down for Outdoor Canada, and it's the biggest trade show, biggest sport trade show in the world. And so
it's my favorite one. I want to go.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's a dream for me.
It's like being a kid in the candy shop. You'll see everything that's going to come for the next year. Every tackle manufacturer's there. All pros are there. Everybody you've ever heard of, seen on TV, the Kevin Van Dams, Aaron Martins, all the best fishermen in the world are there. And what I do, though, I kind of go down and I try to find what I think are some really cool new baits for the Canadian market. And the interesting thing, I'll even go down and look at saltwater baits. So baits that companies are bringing out for maybe tarpon or marlin or something like that. And I have found some absolutely incredible lures for muskies. And but nevertheless, I go down every year. And so, in fact, I'm glad you kind of mentioned it, because the next edition of Outdoor Canada that's coming out, it's going to be out in probably the next couple of weeks. It's the 2021 fishing edition, our biggest edition of the year. And I've picked the 21 best baits for my cast this year. So the 21 best baits for 21. But the year you're talking about was when Lucky Bug, and it just kind of a Canadian company highlighting articulated baits. And, the Lucky Craft folks had a pointer, and it was articulated. There's some really, really cool articulated baits. And something that really fascinates me is in the fly fishing, and I love fly fishing and fly tying. It's now transcended and moved over. There's even articulated flies these days. Really, really cool.
Why am I getting a call?
Articulated flies for trout and all the other fish. But that was the reason I kind of picked that one. It's a Canadian product, great people, really, really nice people from Burnaby, British Columbia. And just wanted to give them a shout out in that piece.
Sorry, Gord. I don't know. Somebody was trying to message here and it kind of cut us off. So,
all right.
Okay, we good?
We're good.
I think I can hear you now.
Can me or somebody else?
There. That now we're good, I think. My goodness. Sorry. I'm just fiddling here. All right. There. I think we're good. We're good?
I can hear you well.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, as you were saying, you picked out the baits for Canadians, and the one thing in regards to articulated baits, the next issue for Outdoor Canada is the musky baits, and again, there's articulated baits going to be highlighted in that edition. Did I get that right?
No, in the upcoming edition, I'm going to pick. What's coming out is, because it's the year 2021. I've got the 21 best baits from my casts this year for the 2021 edition, and there really are. I'll tell you about a really cool Canadian topwater musky bait, Ben, made by a company called Fish Whistle Lures. They're down in Fish Whistle Lures.
Okay.
They're a company in the Kawartha Lakes area, down in that Peterborough, Port Perry area. The owner of the company is a guy by the name of his name just popped right out of my head, but it's Fish Whistle Lures, and the bait is called the Magician. Ben Dandy is his last name. Lawrence Ben Dandy, and it's called the Magician. And Ben, this is really, really cool, because when you look at it, you really don't know. It's a big musky bait, and when you look at it, you go, "Wow, is that a suic, or is it a topwater lure?" And believe it or not, it's the first one I have ever seen. And it starts off as a walk the dog, so back and forth, it's a topwater. But if you see a muskie coming in behind your bait, you give it a good rip and it dives down and it turns into a spool. So it's called the Magician, made by Ben Dandy of Fish Whistle Lure Company. And it's one of the 21 that I've highlighted for this upcoming year.
Oh, really, fantastic.
Really cool musky northern pike bait.
Well, I decided I'm going to beef this one up. What would you suggest for hooks on this if I was going to throw this guy for muskie?
We'll catch muskies. I'll tell you another little secret. And it's a Rapala bait. It's called the Super Shad Rap. It's one of the best baits I have ever used. It's a relatively small bait. I think it's 5.5 inches long. But what we call them are baits that fish big, although they're small. So they're smaller baits that really fish big. And many times you don't have to, like that bait that you've got in your hand right there, you don't have to necessarily improve or upsize the hooks. In fact, often it's not unlike a spy bait for bass. Those little tiny hooks, once you drive them in, you just don't need to hit them too hard, and they go in like a nurse giving you a needle. And they're amazing. They stick and they hold well. I do like to upgrade my hooks, generally one size stronger and at least one size bigger. And and understandably, most of the lure manufacturers, in order to cut costs, don't use premium hooks. So I'll often use a Gamakatsu. It costs you $1 a hook more, but for $3-4 to make those baits a little bit bigger, I just put on Gamakatsu 1X, or at least 1 times heavier and 1 times bigger. Where did you go on me, Ben? If there is anybody out there, just jot your questions down there over on the far side. I'll see them, and we'll do this without Ben. Where are you, Ben?